Hello, hello, hello. That should help. Having issues with this, man. Kind of sucky. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, earnings per share was expected to be at 11 cents. It came in better than expected at 14 cents. And revenue was expected to come at 775 million, and it came in at dun, 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 827. So it's a beats an expectation. Yeah, kind of sucks. Yeah, I've been speaking for the last 5 minutes. It's just nuts. So yeah. Oh, that sucks. Um, I usually do my pre-checks, but I forgot this time around. Yeah, earnings per share was expected to be 11 cents and 775. It came in better than expected. That's why the stock is up around 10% after earnings. The expected move today was about 5%. So if you were in the stock, you're definitely making money. And if you bought options, you're definitely making money. The implied volatility was extremely high. That's why I didn't get in it. But the stock likes it, you know? I was thinking that potentially with the new Doge and people evaluating their expensive, the stock could actually be hurt, but not really. It's been outperforming. Yeah, dude. He's been damping the patty for sure. Yeah, insane. But yeah, yeah, the whole market overall. We're still waiting for the news on the Canada meet, but there's nothing yet. But yeah, stocks rallying. Are there any other earnings we should be paying attention to? And we also have the coal. Bam. It's a great move. Fantastic move. Yeah, I think we're expecting to like stay around 89. Like this tells me that there is still gonna be demand for chips, and the chip sector should benefit from this going. But I thought SMCI should be tomorrow, but there's really no confirmation, so we really don't know. I also saw at the 10th of February as well, so we'll be waiting on those. But if it happens to be one of the days, I'll definitely be paying attention. I'm gonna be hmm, paying too much attention. But yeah, it comes in way better than expected. Even Gap EPS I think came in better than expected. That one came in at 4 cents I think, so it's still even a bit better. I can stream AMD earnings. I like AMD. I hope that they do well. In all honesty, it'll be interesting to see what the inference effects and the DeepSeek effects are for them. So it's gonna be good. Oh man, stock likes it. Stock likes it. All right, so let's go to the call. I think they're gonna do well. They're likely to do well. You gotta pay attention. That's the thing. You gotta pay attention to the sector. People will tell you what's happening around it. You can hear. It's funny because the eToro CEO Yanni, he was talking about if you really want to know how a company is doing, ask the CEO about its competitors. So you always got to look at the competition in order to kind of give you an idea of what's truly happening and how the market sees the sector you're in and the companies you're in, right? I don't see Nvidia losing the lead because of DeepSeek. I actually see them selling more, and the fact that many people are taking their money away from the stock tells me that there's, we're actually getting to fair valuation, which would be good. And then you can potentially get a deal on the stock too. Man. But yeah, let's go to Palantir. Let's go read the Palantir earnings. Yeah, there we go. They're out. Okay. Why am I not getting the... What am I missing? Let's go to the webcast. I think we can watch it live. Yeah, notify me. So it's 47 minutes until the call. Yeah. I like the fact that they do it on YouTube too, News. All right, so U.S. revenue grew 52% year over year. It's fantastic news. I think they made it because now this is the end of the year for them. So they'll give you the whole year data too. And it was Palantir surges as AI drives robust annual Q1. I'm guessing the markets also like the insane. Commercial revenue. Oh, 1.2. Okay, billion. Okay. Ooh. Gotta pay attention to guidance. Yeah, the outlook. Here we go. So revenue is expected to come at 862 million. We're probably gonna go up to the upside. Oh, that's Q1. So we're expecting pretty decent growth. Full year, we're talking about 3 billion, 3.7 billion. All right, man. Should have entered. I doubt it. I don't know. Like I was gonna make a calls play. Every single time I've made a calls play on Palantir, it has paid. But this time around, they're just so heavy. Like they're just so expensive. They're expensive. You know, they're growing really rapidly. Look, have a look just to evaluate their growth. PLTR. So they're up 14. So they're top of that range. They've been growing earnings per share. They're not growing that fast, but they're still a growth company. This is where it gets interesting. They've been growing this pretty decisively. Expected was 775, and they got. Oh, I did make a prediction. Did I make a prediction? I did make a prediction. Oh, nice. I missed. And I said 11 cents, and I missed. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I made a prediction. What report? This one here? Here. It's too big. I'm not able to what? What? Why can I not? Freaking. It's too big. It's too big. I can't send it. Lol, dude. Just go there. You'll get there. Click on that. That should get you close. Go to news. That gets you there. No worries, dude. Oh man. Yeah, it's not gonna get you. So here, I'll send you. Like the problem is it's too big. So just go here and then click on the things. There you go. Nope. Just give me a second. Ah, I'm misclicking. Here you go. Have a look at those, and then just click on here. That's it. That gets you there. Revenue guidance. So that's the beauty of it, and I think that's why the stock's gonna outperform here. It's just because the guidance is so good, right? But this tells you, right? Like this tells you that people still want AI, and it's not just about LLM models, but it's how what you're building on top of them and how you're integrating all of the data analysis and everything that's around it. So this gives me hope. You know what I mean? Like this gives me hope that potentially we see a balance in chip stocks. The question is who are gonna be the biggers, the winners? Yeah, that should be easy. Have a look. Let me know what you figure it out too, no? You know, don't just like bail. You know, like let me know what you figure out. I want to know. All right. Is that- I agree. I agree. I think they're doing really well, right? Oh man, you guys can't hear the voice. God damn it. I'm so slow today. I'm so sorry, guys. Man, I'm like listening to this guy speak.
So seeing a report on X here, so this is a reporter on X here from CNN. Trump tells her even that his call with Prime Minister
Bro, I'm
Trudeau
so
went
slow
very
today.
well. Asked if the tariffs against Canada are still going, said, watch.
I'm so slow today. So, what he said was
So again, President Trump telling a CNN reporter on X that his call with PM Trudeau from Canada went very well. When asked if the tariffs against Canada are still going into effect tonight, he said, watch.
wow. So he's being real with Canada. Fuck. Well, he's gotta be nasty, right? Otherwise, there's really no like strength, you know. Watch, he says. Freaking. The problem was that Canada acted swiftly. You know what I mean? They didn't take it, like hanging down. So there might be an issue there.
Trump expected to issue executive order tomorrow, withdrawing the US from the UN Human Rights Council and prohibiting of future funding for UN relief agency for Gaza, according to a White House official.
For sure, dude. For sure, for sure. All right, let's go to left. Cam to the left. I don't even have a cam here. Let's go. Cam to the left. I'm freaking. Everything is, today is one of them days, freaking Saturn is going off orbit. I don't fucking know, dude. Again, the world's going to shit, and I feel it. And I feel it. Oh, man. Oh. But there's nothing clear. Ah, man, just don't like. I don't like the uncertainty. You know what I mean? Markets don't like that at all. What do you say? So there's no news on Canada so far. Not much really you can do about it. I need to register for the webcast. I am in the webcast here. Cool. So we're still waiting on those results. It'll be interesting to see what they said. Last time it was really good. Should allow. I don't understand why you don't allow chat. You know what I mean? Allow people to vote for questions. You know, that'd be great. Hey, I'm a Palantir shareholder. I hold one stock. What are your thoughts on the current AI developments of China, and how does that impact the the market and your position, etc., etc.? So they're gonna get. They got to 14. They got up here. That's insane. They're doing great, dude. They're doing great. Stock overall is down. Not good. Not good. Oh man, how's this stock performing after hours? It's holding. It likes this. Tomorrow 100. As long as Trump doesn't ruin the party. But yeah, simple. I agree. Yeah, they're doing AI before AI was cool too, so that's something to take into consideration. Let me check here. Hopefully I can fix this. Hello, 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 hello. So it should work. I don't understand why it's not. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, that should fix it. That's the thing. He ain't gonna stop, right? Like that's that's the key issue, you know? Like so the thing I liked about Trump was the fact that you were able to trade him. You figure out exactly the way that he's planning to do things, and then like as it goes in, you're able to get in and out. And I think momentum is gonna be an issue um this year and like for the next 4 years, right? Like I think traders are gonna take advantage, and I think there's gonna be a lot of in and out, in and out. Um So that being said, is very tricky, right? It's very tricky to see like find a way to kind of trade Trump and then be able to do it, you know? But then the thing is like if you were able to understand, okay, like I even asked ChatGPT and this made sense, right? So it was like, here, I'll show you my conversation with ChatGPT on this. Um during the day, and it explained it to the teeth, you know, like I think it's on the, it's on point, right? So it was like I started I like they put out the new thinking model or whatever. And I was like, okay, like what did I ask it? I was like, like it's so cookie cutter. It's even like crazy, right? So it's like here. So it's like based on the art of the deal by Donald Trump, if you had to increase tariffs with Canada and Mexico, how would you approach it? Use your book as your only source of deal making knowledge, right? And this is it. This is super hilarious because it's like, okay, establish a strong, bold position. Frame the tariffs as strategic and mutual opportunity. Control the narrative through the media. Be willing to walk away. Use your incremental step negotiations. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like what would you do if you were just to like drop 25% tariffs on on Trump, right? And it's like and then it played out and I was like, no 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 no. Like this is what I want to understand. It's like tariffs are rolled back. The initial 25% increase is a temporary measure. Reciprocal concessions, enhanced leverage, and a clear phased approach, right? So I was like, based on what do you think Trump wants to achieve on this, right? And it's like, okay, like greater market access for U.S. products, stronger enforcement of trade rules, addressing trade imbalances, protection of intellectual property, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. But give me the top three concessions based on this. And then I was like, he's using fentanyl and immigration as an emergency act to enforce this executive order. Does that change your three concessions?
And he goes to think, and it's like in-house border security, which is the first thing he actually managed to do, which is hilarious. And then he won't. The thing is, he won't, Dragos. He won't. He won't take it easy, you know. So like, because he like he's sitting in the biggest freaking monster the world has ever seen. He doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Like he has a guillotine on top of everybody's head, and he has everybody where he wants them. Everybody's dependent on the states. So this sort of creates, but nobody steps away from the states ever, right? Like we should, you know but we end up going back. Why? Because there's like financial markets allow you capital, blah 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 blah
So
blah.
the Canadian dollar strengthens as much as spot 2% against the dollar after unwinding earlier sharp declines. This is following comments from Trump to a CNN reporter
You know.
when asked
But
about
the thing is,
the
just how you
Canada
trade
tariffs,
this,
said,
right? Like it's
watch.
it's like now okay, like what is he trying to implement? And when the market freak outs, you can actually trade against it and actually make a prediction based on it. So he's likely okay, like maybe the China tariffs are probably gonna stay, but he's probably gonna speak to Xi. Like he's speaking with him in the next 24 hours. And that tells you. Like at the end of the day, he can sign that away. He can sign it into existence and he can sign it away in a second because he doesn't need to go through the proper steps. But this is goes. It's like boom. He wants to enhance border security and stricter immigration. And then again, and like the third one with Canada, which is like I know. But yeah, and then he wants to like probably he just wants more access to Canadian markets. In all honesty, I think that's his goal here, right? Because he was talking about how banks can't even access Canadian market. So the Canadians are very like they're protecting a lot. You're not able to like invest properly. Like there's like a lot of restrictions. Not every broker can come in. So yeah, and this is where yeah, insane. So this is what it did, and it was crazy. Like it was very well predicted. Um, there you go, ChatGPT. You know, ask it the same thing about Chi and see what happens. Boom, $100. That's so crazy. Man, I saw this stock at 67. I didn't do anything about it. It's been on my watch list and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, and it was a mistake. Because this stock, right? Like you're gonna get that build into sort of like it's hardware, then it's software, and then there's gonna be winners and losers, and they seem to be. You're gonna be doing well. Oh, wait, actually, I'm doing better. Looking nuts. Dragos, remember what I told you? It's not about making money, it's about not losing money. Check this out. Freaking, let me put my cam on the right. Well, the thing was, like, I don't think you sold bad. You know what I mean? I think you didn't sell, like, it wasn't a bad sell, but the question was, why did you own the stock, right? Because if you had, like, if you sold at what, December, what was the price in December? Let's look at the daily, let's look at the weekly, man. Right? Like December, you were sitting around 80, 84. That was a great price. And then like selling at 80 and getting back at 60s, like 67, whatever the lowest was here, would have been an amazing trade. In and out, quick and easy. Quick and easy. By the way, if you're new to the channel, say hello in the chat or hit the like button. We're doing AMD earnings tomorrow too, so that's gonna be fun. Bam. This stock just continues to explode, and they're gonna do great, Nicole. Like the amount of data they have, it's just like because that's at the end of the day, that's what it was like. Big data was the big thing like a few years ago, and then all of a sudden it's like now we're able to actually analyze that data. Boom. Insane. What a rally. Should have bought the calls. Should have bought the calls. I would have made money today. 55%. Insane. Let me share this. touching on the 100. There might be a lot of selling pressure at 100, but man, that's the thing. I've traded this stock and I haven't owned it. You know, should have owned it. Should have owned the stock. That's the thing, though. If a company like this is doing so well on revenue, what you think they're not going to continue to spend in order to get more access and more markets and more knowledge and keep up with the technological advances? Oh man! By the way, if you have any questions or you have any tips or you want me to look at something, do let me know in the comments below. Bum, bum. Insane. Maximum was 15. I want to know revenue. Who figured out revenue? Nobody spec the revenue. This is way better. That's the beauty sometimes in markets. Yeah, I am gold. Wait, what? I won 90 like $1.90. Okay, I was gonna say. IAJ. Let's have a look. International Consolidated Airline. Getting into the. Okay. Damn.
In 10 minutes time now at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, see New Zealand building consents. The prior read was 5.3%.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you guys. Man, you guys didn't hear that. That's crazy. Let me do a little recap of whatever is happening for those people that are just joining. Um, there's no news on it. He's gonna do that. Salient. What did he say? Market rallied on the news, but man, like market is friggin' it's higher than the close, except for a couple of stocks, but it's higher than the close on Friday, or it's at the close on Friday. Insane. What's the news? What's the news? What's the news? He tweeted. He tweeted. It's crazy. Why do I have to? Why is this world this? Palantir. We're still 24 minutes away from the call. Look for the live stream.
Canada's PM Trudeau says a delay in US tariffs for 30 days.
I think it's going to
That's Canada's
500
PM Trudeau,
Palantir.
delay in US tariffs for 30 days. Dollar weakening here, S&P 500 strengthening. Canada's PM Trudeau,
He's such a
delay in US
motherfucker.
tariffs for 30 days.
Fuck. Fuck. And he's gonna say the same thing about China. And whenever he wants something, he's gonna tires back on the table. Fuck. I should have gotten in. Oh man, I'm just. Episode 2 of Trump Land. It's going nuts, yeah. Like, look at the TQs. TQs must be like, oh, there was such a good trade on the TQs today.
By the way, don't
Trudeau
trade
says nearly
leverage, like
10,000
unless you know
troops
what
to
you're
protect the
doing,
border.
know what you're willing to lose. Look at my losses in the
Trudeau
past
saying as
2
well
weeks.
he had a good call with Trump.
Oh man, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I could have got it in today. I could have got it in here. That would have been a 9% trade right there. Oh, I'm just so beat up. I already have a position in them, you know, so it's fuck. That sucks. Like the moment you got Mexico, you figured out. I wonder what they did, you know? Like what did they talk about? Like that's the thing. I don't understand what he wanted out of freaking Canada. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Oh, Mexico makes sense. Okay, you want people. You want them to take over the border. 10,000 people. Makes sense. You want on that one. Sure. It's like it's so like it's just like in the grand scale of things, it's really not a big win, you know? Like I didn't enjoy my weekend. I had to like analyze the effects of tariffs on the American economy in order to figure out, you know? Ah, God, dang it! And we're back to freaking like we're back to Friday. Insane. This is why you get paid in market.
Canada's
These
PM
are the
Trudeau
weeks
says
you get paid
Canada
in
is to name
market.
a
But with Trump, it's
fentanyl
every
czar.
week. It's every week. We wanted this. People wanted this. The market wanted this. He's like, you know what? Like I'm just market loves it, and he's gonna do the same with China. He's gonna have a call with China, and that's it. And then tomorrow markets are gonna be green. He wanted to buy. He wanted to buy Bitcoin. He wanted to buy freaking indexes. He knew this was gonna happen. His son is out there buying stock. He just made so much money. Fuck. Oh man. Insane. Now we have Palantir earnings too. God damn it. This is what he did. I posted on Twitter today. Um, this is what he
In
fucking
5 minutes'
did.
time now, at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we see the
Oh,
release of New Zealand building consents. Prior read 5.3%.
tell me that. Tell me that doesn't like. Tell me that doesn't make sense. And I'm still making money. And Nvidia ain't recovered. Man, people are. Oh well, it is sort of. I mean, not really. Fuck me.
Canada's PM Trudeau says US tariffs to be paused for at least 30 days.
Oh man. Welcome to another episode of Trump Land, dude. Oh, he just has the power to do so. The thing is just like the problem with this tactic, right? It's like you can use it once, twice, right? And but then people know, right? And then you know, then the worst part is it's probably gonna get like he's probably gonna be like, bam, give me back Twitter. Yeah, it's been, bro, it's been freaking like 20 days since he's been in power. Like it's not. When did he get in power? On the 20th? Yeah, it's been 14 days. It's been 2 weeks. God damn it. Oh man. And the thing is just like it's on everything. He's gonna have an opinion on every single thing. It's gonna be like this for the next. Oh man. Palantir live, ladies and gents. By the way, if you got any insights on Palantir, do let me know. Put them in the comment below. Share it with the community. Oh man. That's such a crazy.
Ooh. Do you know if you can have access to Palantir just to test it out and try out their service? That's the one thing I like, it's like I don't know what they do. Like I don't know how it works. What is the benefits? Like I don't know. Cuz he's buying, bro. He's buying. What do you think? He didn't buy Bitcoin at under 95? Bitcoin is sitting at 100K. He just made 5% on his money. Motherfucker. Have a look here. I like this guy. This guy gives you good insights. Revenue's going really good.
US Treasury 10-year yields cut their losses after Canada's Trudeau says US to pause tariffs on Canada for 30 days. Last flat on the 10-year yield at 4.553%.
Could have bought, man. And it was a buy the deep opportunity, except tomorrow we still don't know what China means. Like the China means, the tariffs on China means. I don't know what he wants. I really don't. I'm hoping he gives us an insight on what he really wants. Like he says it. The worst part is he tells you. But it's like it's in between so much
1 minute
bullshit
now until we get the New Zealand building consents numbers.
that it's so hard to know. I am so tired. I have been grinding for the past 2 weeks. I need to do taxes. I need to work. I need to do things. I need to be like a responsible member of society. And he says everybody just paying attention because if you don't, you lose money. Nothing. Just nothing. It was just a power move. It's just
10 seconds.
it's okay. We are
Louise
60
von der
minutes
Leyen says on the relationship with the US, when targeted unfairly or arbitrarily, the European Union will respond firmly. New Zealand building consents minus 5.6%, minus 5.6%.
Canada's PM Trudeau. Canada is to name a fentanyl czar. It's a czar. Like, look at this moves. Look at this moves. Look at how all of the asset classes move on. Just like he did nothing. He just said some words. Oh man. It's a financial juice. This website here. He gives you like whenever there's data, he tells you in your ear. I'm giving you all my tips for free, all my tips, all of my research, all my analysis, all of the things, for free. Have them. Here you go. This is what I do when I look at earnings, and this is the way that I analyze my earnings. That's what I do. That's what I do. But yeah, financial juice. It gives you all the data that you need, and then this is the things that they're going to be covering, and then they'll tell you as the market progresses, they'll just keep it in your ear. So usually, whenever something happens in the market, this is usually the first place I check. It's like, okay, like let's see. Yeah. So for example, like here. Okay, he's sending people too. Really? Canada's PM Trudeau, nearly 10,000 troops to protect the border. Had a good call with Trump. We're gonna be the emperor of freaking. So he just wanted people at the border. He just wanted more security. Really? So yeah. Wall Street traders attempting to keep up with every new headline regarding President Donald Trump's tariffs negotiations were met with a renewed bout of volatility across asset classes. The S&P 500 paired most of its early slide, which had approached 2%. Following a conversation with his counterpart, Claudia Sheinbaum, Trump agreed to delay the 25% tariff. So it's like anything he needs, any changes he needs, he's just going to be like, you know what? Because the crazy thing about Trump right now is he doesn't need to get reelected. So when you don't need to get reelected, you don't really care about the outcome of things, which is insane. But yeah. So there's trade war, everybody's preparing, everybody's freaking out, you know. That's why the Fed can't really freaking act against, you know, like he hasn't put any tariffs. The tariffs were supposed to be done for tomorrow, and he just extended it for 30 days. And if all of a sudden he wants more people at the border, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna be like, fuck it, tariffs are back on the table. It's like, god dang it, like 10,000 people. It's a massive number, but it's not crazy for governments to be able to say, okay, like let's just send more people over there. You know, it's definitely gonna cost them less with the losses they have. And that's what happens when you're dependent. You got to do what the big guy said. Funny enough, like Canada, Mexico, GDP comparison. Comparison. I don't care. I don't care about writing right now. Just leave me alone. They're very close. He has the same thing.
Going into the APAC session now, Australian dollar extending rally to be up 0.3% from an earlier low.
Yeah, did I show you that? What's I gonna show? Yeah, here. Trump called with Trudeau one way, and then you see, US dollar just come down. S&P 500 pumps. That's all he wanted. Why couldn't he ask for it? Just, you know, I'm sure they would have been like, you know what? Fair. Like, we're gonna try it. Like, we should really stop this. This is a problem. Bam. Let's work together. No. He's like, you know what? I'm willing to throw you all under the bus. NAFTA is non-existent. Is NAFTA still a thing? NAFTA, what's the NAFTA thing? My streams have sucked. Oh my god, so much. It's been, man, like every single time I stream, I lose less money. Great. 9 minutes before the earnings call. It's just like I want some sanity, you know what I mean? And like this will be sanity. And that's okay. And that's okay. You listen to Palantir earnings. I should have bought some calls. I'm so mad. Oh man. 2,000 people waiting for this stock. There's a lot of people paying attention to this. Yeah. 2K down. That number there, that's how much I lose. It's my portfolio. It sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. And that's not even the worst one. That's not even the worst one. That's not even the worst one. That's today. That's today. This number right here, that's the movements of my portfolio. Today. Nvidia's down 1.5%. My NVDL trade is down 3%. Like I'm so down. on so many things. Market's bouncing. I'm not bouncing with it because I'm in stocks that people don't like. Stocks that people don't like. Ah! Sorry for the shout. That means that you're heavy in alts. I was looking at actually. Let's look at that real quick just before the earnings call. The last thing to talk about crypto markets. It showed like Ethereum showed its true nature today. Altcoin galore for sure. It hurt today the Ethereum trade. Oh man, we're almost 6 minutes away from the call, guys. 6 minutes away from the call. But yeah, yeah. If you were holding crypto, but you should be up again. Good Trump coin. You know which one was super? Do you know which stock is really interesting now that Trump is in power? DJT. Funny enough, it's like if you're not paying attention to through social, you're staying out of the loop. Like I was late on the Mexico trade today. On the Mexico news today. I expected the freaking the Canada one, and we're still sort of in the gray waters with the rest, but still big tech down today. Walmart, Costco today was nuts, and I missed this trade too. Like I'm holding Costco too, but I missed an entry here. Definitely missed an entry here, and that was a mistake. Like Costco sitting around 900 was a really good buy. Um, it's super tricky though, because it's like extremely expensive, but they are growing still, and I think that they're gonna have an amazing quarter. Yeah, like you just bought Costco, you know, just Costco. They've done great. Like they just like they're so steady, but they're doing fantastic. Like let's have a look here. Like they just don't beat by a lot, but I think they might beat by a lot this time around. You know, the Pokemon craze and stuff too. People just want a Costco membership, but again, we're getting to high levels too, so it's but stock, you know, stock doesn't know it's overvalued. They're like, no, cannot be. I'm gonna go to a million. All right, three
White
minutes
House
to
official says
Palantir.
Trump will take steps later this month to fulfill his campaign promise to defund the Department of Education.
I mean, what do you, I don't, whatever, dude. Oh, 3 minutes. I'm gonna go get some water. Who needs education? No way. Who needs education? We can just buy Trump coin. The big news today, and by the way, take this into consideration. The big news today was the sovereign fund. The executive order on the sovereign fund. If they really build it and they start buying stock and they start buying companies and they start freaking growing that's gonna be a big deal today. That's gonna be a big deal. Mark my words. Like that was something incognito that ended up being between all of the craziness. That was the most important thing today, for sure, for sure. If they buy TikTok, that'd be hilarious. But if they buy TikTok,
Trump now confirms the delay of Canada tariffs. Again, Trump confirms delay of Canada tariffs.
so money went into like defensive, you know. See, it's like and right away you got people from like it was just like people on one side and people on the other. It was like okay, if the tariffs are real, this, and if the tariffs are not real, this. It's like just you know the thing that spooked me was the size of them. If he was like 10%, 15%, but he just went in with a hammer and he was you know what? I'll break it. I'm game. This tells you what safety is. Days like this are also interesting because then you're able to say where money's flowing to. You know, when all of this, when
So the Trump comments on Canada tariffs in Truth Social post. Tariffs announced on Saturday will be paused for a 30-day period to see whether or not a final economic deal with Canada can be structured. So again, Trump on Truth Social.
I get why am I here? Canada has agreed to ensure we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans while destroying their families and communities all across our country. Canada will implement their 1.3 billion border plan. As per Prime Minister Trudeau, we will be reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personal enhanced coordination with our American partners and increase resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-US joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I've also signed a new intelligence directive.
From Palantir's finance team, and I'd like to welcome you to our fourth quarter 2024 earnings call. We'll be discussing the results announced in our press release issued after the market close and site.
No.
During the we will make statements regarding our business that may be considered forward-looking within applicable securities laws, including statements regarding our first quarter and fiscal 2025 results, management's expectations for our future financial and operational performance, and other statements regarding our plans, prospects, and expectations. These statements are not promises or guarantees and are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause them to differ materially from actual results. Information concerning those risks is available in our earnings press release distributed after the market closed today and in our SEC filings. We undertake no obligation to update forward-looking statements except as required by law. Further, during the course of today's call, we will refer to certain adjusted financial measures. These non-GAAP financial measures should be considered in addition to, not as a substitute for or in isolation from, GAAP measures. Additional information about these non-GAAP measures, including reconciliation of non-GAAP to comparable GAAP measures, is included in our press release and investor presentation provided today. Our press release, investor presentation, and other earnings materials are available on our investor relations website at investors.palantir.com. Over the course of the call, we will refer to various growth rates when discussing our business. These rates reflect year-over-year comparisons unless otherwise stated. Joining me on today's call are Alex Karp, Chief Executive Officer, Shyam Sankar, Chief Technology Officer, Dave Glazer, Chief Financial Officer, and Ryan Taylor, Chief Revenue Officer and Chief Legal Officer. I'll now turn it over to Ryan to start the call.
2024 was nothing short of incredible for Palantir. Our momentum accelerated through year-end, closing out 2024 with exceptional Q4 results, including an extraordinary top-line beat and outperformance led by our U.S. business. Revenue grew 14% sequentially and 36% year-over-year in Q4, and 29% year-over-year for the full year. The AI revolution continues, transforming industries and redefining how organizations operate. AI is a pivotal component in driving innovation and efficiency, something companies need to embrace or fall behind. With the proliferation of AI models, the raw AI labor supply is exploding. While everyone else is focused on the model supply side, we're transforming AI into a measurable stream of high-value finished goods and services. The result? The rapid emergence of quantified exceptionalism for organizations able to unlock the potential of these commoditized models through AIP. A byproduct of our incredible progress, our Rule of 40 score increased to 81 in the fourth quarter. It's a substantial leap to deploy LLMs into production with real impact. Most organizations are currently stuck on the wrong side of the widening chasm, working on their 2, 5, and 10-year plans, which become obsolete days later, failing to ever take action. But not Palantir or our quickly growing customer base. We've taken our position through our decades-long investment in developing the ontology, which allows organizations to seamlessly weave LLMs into their enterprise, unlocking their highest potential leverage. In this AI revolution, anyone looking for a solution that actually works is going to choose Palantir. Last quarter alone, we closed $1.8 billion of TCV across our business, which represents a 56% increase year over year. We closed a record-setting number of deals in Q4, including 32 deals worth $10 million or more. Our U.S. business is at the forefront of the AI revolution, growing 52% year over year in Q4. Last quarter, U.S. commercial revenue grew 64% year over year and 20% sequentially. AIP continues to fuel new customer acquisition, as we have nearly 5 times the number of U.S. commercial customers as we did 3 years ago, and significant expansion opportunities at existing customers. Organizations who have crossed the chasm with Palantir are driving real impact quickly. In this AI revolution, the biggest risk is not moving fast enough, and organizations are looking to us. With Palantir, as soon as work begins, we're delivering real, quantified exceptionalism for our customers. In my conversations, they're excitedly asking how we can replicate this success across their organizations. One of America's largest pharmacies has been a customer since early 2024 and signed a $67 million TCV engagement with us right after the pilot for workflows including automatically load balancing prescription fulfillment and orchestrating patient outreach. An American telecom company became a customer approximately 2 years ago and recently signed a $40 million TCV expansion deal to help manage and accelerate their decommissioning of old network technologies and equipment in order to achieve significant cost savings. Last earnings call, we mentioned the leading global insurance organization that deployed AIP to help automate underwriting workflows, reducing a 2-week process to 3 hours. That organization signed a nearly $11 million ACV expansion deal in Q4. Panasonic Energy North America is seeing the effects of its AIP expansion as they've created a maintenance assistant to help 350 technicians in making 5.5 million batteries per day, resulting in reduced machine downtime, greater throughput, and rapid onboarding of new technicians. In Q4, we also announced the customers in the inaugural Warp Speed cohort, which are using Palantir's Warp Speed to gain an advantage in aspects of their manufacturing operating system, including automated visual quality inspections and dynamic production scheduling. Anduril CIO Tom Bosco noted, quote, "By using the software, we've seen up to 200x efficiency gain in our ability to anticipate and respond to supply shortages." Our U.S. government business, the foundation on which Palantir was built, is exceedingly strong, with revenue growing 45% year over year last quarter. We take pride in supporting the critical missions we're delivering against. Notable deals included the U.S. Army extending its longstanding partnership with Palantir to deliver the Army Vantage capability in support of the Army Data Platform for up to 4 years. We also announced our recent contract expansion with U.S. Special Operations Command, marking the first deployment of Mission Manager to U.S. Special Operations Forces units. Our international commercial business continues to see pockets of growth alongside the large renewals of some of our long-standing customers. For example, Rio Tinto extended their partnership with Palantir for an additional 4 years, noting AIP is making their unstructured data accessible, allowing them to quickly attack problems previously deemed too complex. Using our software, network rail
Stomping.
specialists coordinate 53 driverless trains, each with 240 wagons, ultimately improving throughput and safety. Our international government business also achieved strong growth. Revenue increased 26% sequentially last quarter, driven in large part by the UK, including our work with the NHS to roll out the Federated Data Platform as 87 acute NHS trusts and 28 integrated care boards have signed up to use it as of November 2024. We accelerated through the end of the year, and we remain full throttle. We're at the dawn of this AI revolution, and in this winner-take-all AI economy, Palantir leads the way. I'll now turn it over to Sham.
Thanks, Ryan. For the last 2 years, we've been saying that even while the LLMs are improving, the models across both open and closed source are becoming more similar, and performance will converge, all while the cost per token for inference continues to drop substantially. And that's because the market's been focused on AI supply, the models. With the release of DeepSeek R1, that has gone from a contrarian position to consensus. It's now blindingly obvious to everyone. Our foundational investments in ontology and infrastructure have positioned us to uniquely deliver on AI demand. From the beginning, AIP was built for this reality. Chat was always a dead end. Instead, we viewed LLMs as a new runtime for the AI labor. To capture the productive value of this AI labor, you need an intermediate representation of your enterprise that AI can actually interact with. How do you allocate inventory, onboard customers, process claims, call for prior authorization, and the like? That intermediary representation that makes all of that possible is ontology, and that's why it's been the secret to our meteoric rise. We are convinced the normative value for AI is enterprise autonomy, the self-driving company. Users go from performing the workflow to supervising an army of agents, teaching them how to handle edge cases and reducing dwell time. This is where we are maniacally focused with our customers. We've been working with a large multinational bank to automate core back-office processes. What used to take 5 days now takes 3 minutes. Much more than the labor savings, this improvement eliminates historical constraints on the middle office and now enables the bank to create entirely new and differentiated financial products. We're working with a top engineering and construction firm to automate the identification of risks across tens of thousands of pages of technical documents, replacing months of arduous manual reviews with AI labor that can flag major risks to engineers in minutes. And we're working with a large power systems company to automate the understanding of technical diagrams to turn them into quotes into orders. And finally, we're working with an automotive supplier to analyze CAD files for component designs to have AI labor validate engineering standards and manufacturability checks. That is a 100-hour process for human engineers, now automated and serving up exceptions for human review. The before and after with AI is stark, and the speed of implementation is accelerating. You can divide companies up into 2 categories, the quick and the dead. Turning to warp speed, Palantir's modern American manufacturing operating system, it continues to move at warp 10. Our nation is in the beginning of a great reindustrialization as we compete with China to secure a free world and individual liberties. This is a competition we cannot afford to lose. We announced our first cohort of warp speed customers, including Anduril and L3 Harris. The response has been exceptional, and the pipeline is swelling. Warp speed integrates engineering, test, production, quality, and operations so that manufacturers can build better and build faster. Our FedStart offering hit a major milestone with the approval of our FedRAMP High environment for FedStart customers. This is radical acceleration, both in reduction of time and costs of market access for software companies in the federal space. Finally, in U.S. government, our deep investments in JADC2 continue to deliver results. Maven continues to see significant adoption and is pathfinding new AI capabilities throughout the kill chain. Substantial new investments integrating contested logistics into Maven's AI-enabled kill chain met their moment in exercises in Q4. Adoption continues within the military departments, specifically Army, Air Force, and Space Force, as well as at the combatant commands with expansions at SpaceCom, Southcom, AFRICOM, and STRATCOM. While Hurricane Helene response galvanized the adoption of Maven on unclass beyond just the secret and top secret networks, the adoption has continued to grow as Maven is used for securing our nation's border and securing our nation's airspace by enabling drone domain awareness. And Maven is reaching our allies and partners via U.S. supplied capabilities called Maven REL, all spurred by real-world events and the need to collaborate in real time in crisis. We are really just getting started with Maven and have an ambitious roadmap and a set of customer opportunities in front of us to deliver the unfair advantage our warfighters deserve. I'll turn it over to Dave to talk us through the numbers.
Thanks, Sham. We had an outstanding fourth quarter. Revenue growth accelerated to 36% year over year, exceeding the high end of our prior guidance by over 900 basis points and representing a 1,600 basis point increase compared to the growth rate in Q4 of last year. America continues to rapidly embrace the AI revolution, and we saw this unrelenting demand drive impressive outperformance
Sitting
in our U.S.
102.
business, which grew 52% year over year and 12% sequentially. Our U.S. commercial business grew 64% year over year and 20% sequentially, and our U.S. government business grew 45% year over year and 7% sequentially. On the back of this continued strength, we are guiding to a full year 2025 revenue midpoint of $3.749 billion, representing a 31% year-over-year growth rate. We delivered these outstanding top-line results while expanding adjusted operating margin to 45%, the strongest adjusted operating margin in the company's history. Our revenue and profitability drove a 13-point sequential increase to a Rule of 40 score from 68 in the third quarter to 81 in the fourth quarter. We also had an exceptional cash flow quarter with adjusted free cash flow of $517 million, representing a margin of 63%, and $1.25 billion in adjusted free cash flow for the full year, representing a margin of 44%. Turning to our global top-line results, fourth quarter revenue grew 36% year over year and 14% sequentially to $828 million. Full year revenue grew 29% year over year to $2.87 billion. Full year U.S. revenue grew 38% year over year to $1.9 billion. Excluding the impact of revenue from strategic commercial contracts, fourth quarter revenue grew 39% year over year and 14% sequentially, and full year revenue grew 32% year over year. Customer count grew 43% year over year and 13% sequentially to 711 customers. Revenue from our largest customers continues to expand. Fourth quarter trailing 12-month revenue from our top 20 customers increased 18% year over year to $65 million per customer. Now moving to our commercial segment. Fourth quarter commercial revenue grew 31% year over year and 17% sequentially to $372 million. Full year commercial revenue grew 29% year over year to $1.3 billion. Excluding the impact from strategic commercial contracts, fourth quarter commercial revenue grew 37% year over year and 18% sequentially, and full year commercial revenue grew 36% year over year. We had our strongest quarter of commercial TCV booked at $995 million, representing 42% growth year over year and 63% growth sequentially. Our U.S. commercial business is seeing unprecedented demand, with AIP driving both new customer conversions and existing customer expansions in the U.S. Fourth quarter U.S. commercial revenue grew 64% year over year and 20% sequentially to $214 million. Full year U.S. commercial revenue grew 54% year over year to $702 million. Excluding revenue from strategic commercial contracts, fourth quarter U.S. commercial revenue grew 76% year over year and 19% sequentially, and full year U.S. commercial revenue grew 69% year over year. We also had our strongest quarter of U.S. commercial TCV booked at $803 million, representing growth of 134% year over year and 170% sequentially. This exceeded our next highest quarter of U.S. commercial TCV booked by nearly $400 million, highlighting the increased demand for AI production use cases. Total remaining deal value in our U.S. commercial business grew 99% year over year and 47% sequentially. Our U.S. commercial customer count grew to 382 customers, reflecting growth of 73% year over year and 19% sequentially. Fourth quarter international commercial revenue grew 3% year over year and 15% sequentially to $158 million, partially driven by revenue catch-up from a customer in Asia. Full year international commercial revenue grew 9% year over year to $594 million. For international commercial business, we continue to capitalize on targeted growth opportunities in Asia, the Middle East, and beyond, but remain focused on accelerating our growth in the U.S. commercial business. Revenue from strategic commercial contracts was $9.6 million for the quarter. We anticipate first quarter 2025 revenue from these contracts to decline to between $4 to $6 million compared to $24 million in the first quarter of 2024. We anticipate 2025 revenue from these contracts to be approximately 0.5% of full year revenue. Shifting to our government segment. Fourth quarter government revenue grew 40% year over year and 11% sequentially to $455 million. Full year government revenue grew 28% year over year to $1.57 billion. Fourth quarter U.S. government revenue grew 45% year over year and 7% sequentially to $343 million. Full year U.S. government revenue grew 30% year over year to $1.2 billion. This acceleration was driven by continued execution in existing programs and new awards reflecting the growing demand for AI in our government software offerings. Fourth quarter international government revenue grew 28% year over year and 26% sequentially to $112 million, bolstered by our continued work in UK healthcare and defense. Full year international government revenue grew 23% year over year to $372 million. Fourth quarter TCV booked was $1.79 billion, up 56% year over year and 63% sequentially. Net dollar retention was 120%, an increase of 200 basis points from last quarter. The increase was driven both by expansions at existing customers and new customers acquired in Q4 of last year as we see the effect of the AI revolution. As net dollar retention does not include revenue from new customers that were acquired in the past 12 months, it does not yet fully capture the acceleration and velocity in our U.S. business over the past year. We ended the fourth quarter with $5.43 billion in total remaining deal value, an increase of 40% year over year and 20% sequentially, and $1.73 billion in remaining performance obligations, an increase of 39% year over year and 10% sequentially. As a reminder, RPO is primarily comprised of our commercial business, as it does not take into account contracts with an initial term of less than 12 months and contractual obligations that fall beyond termination for convenience clauses, both of which are common in most of our government business. Turning to margin and expense. Adjusted gross margin, which excludes stock-based compensation expense, was 83% for the quarter and the full year. Adjusted income from operations, which excludes stock-based compensation expense and related employer payroll taxes, was $373 million, representing adjusted operating margin of 45%. Full year adjusted income from operations was $1.13 billion, representing margin of 39%. Q4 adjusted expense was $455 million, up 1% sequentially and 14% year over year, and full year adjusted expense was $1.74 billion, up 9% year over year, primarily driven by our continued investment in AIP and technical talent. We expect to see a more significant increase in expense in 2025 as we invest in technical hires, the product pipeline, and continue our focus on AI production use cases, all while delivering our goals of sustained GAAP profitability. On the back of the strength of our results, we want to congratulate our employees for the successful delivery of their market vesting stock appreciation rights, or SARs. As a result of this achievement, we accelerated $131 million of one-time expense in the fourth quarter related to these equity awards. Fourth quarter stock-based compensation expense was $282 million, and employer-related equity tax expense was $80 million. Full year stock-based compensation expense was $692 million, and employer-related equity tax expense was $126 million. Fourth quarter GAAP operating income was $11 million, representing a margin of 1%. Fourth quarter operating income, when excluding one-time SAR-related expenses, was $142 million, representing a 17% margin. Full year GAAP operating income was $310 million, representing an 11% margin. Full year operating income, when excluding one-time SAR-related expenses, was $442 million, representing a 15% margin. Fourth quarter GAAP net income was $79 million, representing a 10% margin. Fourth quarter net income, when excluding one-time SAR-related expenses, was $165 million, representing a 20% margin. Full year GAAP net income was $462 million, representing a 16% margin. Fourth quarter GAAP earnings per share was 3 cents, and earnings per share when excluding one-time SAR-related expenses was 7 cents. Full year GAAP earnings per share was 19 cents. Fourth quarter adjusted earnings per share was 14 cents. Full year adjusted earnings per share was 41 cents. Additionally, our combined revenue growth and adjusted operating margin accelerated to 81% in the fourth quarter, a 13-point increase to our Rule of 40 score from the prior quarter. Turning to our cash flow. In the fourth quarter, we generated $460 million in cash from operations and $517 million in adjusted free cash flow, representing margins of 56% and 63% respectively. For the full year, we generated $1.15 billion in cash from operations and $1.25 billion in adjusted free cash flow, representing margins of 40% and 44%, respectively. Through the end of the fourth quarter, we repurchased approximately 2.1 million shares as part of our share repurchase program. As of the end of the quarter, we have 936 million remaining of the original authorization. We ended the quarter with $5.2 billion in cash, cash equivalents, and short-term U.S. Treasury securities. Now, turning to our outlook. For Q1 2025, we expect revenue of between $858 and $862 million, and adjusted income from operations of between $354 and $358 million. For full year 2025, we expect revenue of between $3.741 and $3.757 billion, U.S. commercial revenue in excess of $1.079 billion, representing a growth rate of at least 54%, adjusted income from operations of between $1.551 and $1.567 billion, adjusted free cash flow of between $1.5 and $1.7 billion, and GAAP operating income and net income in each quarter of this year. With that, I'll turn it over to Alex for a few remarks, and then Anna will kick off the Q&A.
Welcome to our Palantir Revolution, otherwise known as our earnings call. There really is a lot of debate about with these numbers if you even should have an earnings call. There was also a lot of debate around which number is the best internally. We were undecided whether our 29% growth in aggregate, our 38% growth in the U.S., our 54% growth in U.S. commercial, our rule of 81. They may have to redo the rule because, you know, when you're doing twice the rule, of course, maybe the rule isn't fair to other companies. We may have to have a different rule, the rule of 70 or something. But we blew through that over twice the rule of 40. To say we did it our way is a minimization of what that meant. We have taken a long bet over decades around the assumption that if we built the products that our partners, most importantly our partners in the West, most importantly our partners in the U.S., ought to build, not what they wanted us to build, not what they mandated we should build, not what investors, venture capitalists or analysts were saying they would reward us for building, that company would generate so much value that we would get a small percentage of that and we would end up as a massive, significant, and much more importantly, impactful company that could power the West to its obvious innate superiority, expose things that weren't working, rebuild the whole infrastructure of a company. We did that with many platforms. Most successfully, however, was our interest in figuring out how to power human-driven analytics with the assumption that what ought to come would not be human-driven, i.e. would be AI at some point, and that AI potentially could be something like a large language model. And what we've delivered to the market is a symbiotic relationship between data, computer, LLMs, organized, powered, made possible, made valuable by something we dared to call an ontology, which was in the beginning viewed as a highly obnoxious, anticlimactic term that people thought we were using to obfuscate bad financials. And that ontology and our willingness to stick to our guns, again, because there's been billions and billions and billions of dollars invested in large language models, the idea that you could dare to build a product that was built on the assumption that the power of large language models would be in their the ability to operationalize them in the context of the enterprise in common language. So that was a revolution that we saw, that we built against, that we've led, that we've gotten off the ground for us in America. We have 54% growth in U.S. comm. By the way, USG is now re-accelerated. It grew 30%. We are guiding above 30% at 31%. And we're doing this in a very, very complicated environment. You know, the part of the reason we've done so well is the experts look to the past as an indication of the future when we're looking to the future as an indication of the present. And it's very, very hard to figure out what's going to happen. We see, as much as I personally care about the broader West, including continental Europe, despite our best efforts and working at it every day, it's anemic. We're growing around 4% on 13% of our company. It does look like the continent of Europe will look to the past as a way of getting to the future, struggles with the idea that all the valuable technology in this area is built in America, perhaps struggles with the fact that to make LLMs work, you have to find a way to build something like an ontology. There's one available at Palantir. We have rejected all the way through anti-meritocratic concepts, anti-transparent concepts. We're at the forefront of civil liberties. One of the reasons ontology is so valuable is because the concepts that we built into PG, that we built into Foundry, that are expressed in branching, are concepts that both accelerate revenue, get and decelerate, control CapEx, i.e. make the margins something like what you would find at Palantir, but do it in a way that actually make the enterprise better, healthier, more ethical. We, at the end of the day, at Palantir, are exporting our culture and way of doing things to enterprises, especially in America, by allowing enterprises to capture their tribal knowledge in a way that they can utilize LLMs, i.e. take the commodity side of LLMs and hypercharge their secrets of their enterprise using the secrets of our enterprise, namely, how do you build product, how do you end up with ontology, how do you implement it, and last not least, we believe we are making America more lethal, making our adversaries increasingly afraid of acting against the interests of America and especially Americans, and we're proud of our moral stance, and we are very long on the U.S. and what's happening and what will happen in the future. And with that, we should open up our earnings call. But this is obviously a very, very special time to be at Palantir. Palantirians and are very excited, and I am, it's by far the best time to be at Palantir. One of the things that's crazy important about our time at Palantir now is it's actually the vibe internally, the vibe with our clients, the vibe inside of our products is we are at the way beginning of our trajectory. We are at the way beginning of revolution, and we plan to be a cornerstone, if not the cornerstone company in driving this revolution in the U.S. over the next 3 to 5 years.
Thanks,
Thank
Alex. We'll now turn to a few questions from our shareholders before opening up the call. Our first question is from Christina, who asks, what is so unique about the ontology? How does it give you an edge over your competitors? And why wouldn't any of them be able to recreate something similar?
Well, thank you, Christina, for the question. I think we could start by thinking about if I was building software to solve problems for one company, well, you don't need an ontology. You just take the shortest path between A and B, and that doesn't involve ontology. You could think about, okay, what if I'm building enterprise software for many customers? In a traditional way, not a forward-deployed engineering way, where I'm thinking about it deductively, I have large multi-year implementations, never mind that those things never work, but the traditional software industrial complex, you're not even going to conceive of ontology. But if you have the ambition to build software that works across government, across 50 different industries, you have to build ontology. It is absolutely the longest path between point A and point B, but it gives you superpowers when you show up to your customers. And it gives your customers superpowers when they're managing the change in their enterprise, mergers and acquisitions, fighting the entropy of the universe, competing in the market. But what makes ontology essential is AI. Ontology ends up being the intermediary representation that makes your enterprise accessible to AI in a way that's governed and secure and provides you the observability that you need so you can actually trust the AI. But more importantly, the observability your regulators need so they can trust in your transition to being a self-driving company.
Yeah, and it also allows you to manage them so that the actual taxonomy and ability to put the large language model where it can be more exact, so it can be managed at scale. You could think of it as what we do on the Foundry backend, where we have it create pipelines. It's basically anti-segmenting the data. To get the AI to actually work in an enterprise, you have to resegment, reconcatenate the large language models in a way where the use case is thin enough that they can actually provide exact enough information, and the concatenation of that is exact enough to provide real results in an enterprise context, meaning you can rely on the large language model to do the same thing 500 people would be doing who are experts in dealing with text, and you can do that with 3 people. And then the question that Shyam is answering is also But why is it hard to build it? So now we know that Palantir is succeeding and has this, pick your stat, rule of 81, growth with basically a nascent sales force. It's actually very hard to build because in order to have an idea how to do this, you would have to have taken all the lessons of every single product we built, including security models, including how do you interact with the data of an actual enterprise, how do you impose branching, and then you'd have to interact with that and build something to work with the large language models, not as you thought they were, not as you'd liked them to be, but as they are. And that process probably will begin for lots of companies now. It is a very long and hard process to do this in a productized form. And one of the reasons people didn't figure this out is because tech companies don't actually need this because they have one company and or they have something, but it is not a product. Taking this from one company to a company that can install this anywhere requires a very specialized, dedicated product building culture with deep understanding the enterprise. Last not least, in order to be able to teach the large language model to get more exact, precise information, you would have to have a secure and cleaned access to the underlying data of the enterprise. No other company in the world has that kind of access like Palantir, and that's why we're completely uniquely positioned to do this. And luckily for the world, we're very long America, and we're doing it primarily here because it's powerful as fuck.
Thank you both. Our next question is from Kamal, who asks, how will the new Chinese AI model DeepSeek impact Palantir, and how can Palantir mitigate its impact?
Well, I think one of the obvious lessons of DeepSeek R1 is something that we've been saying for the last 2 years, which is that the models are commoditizing. Yes, they're getting better across both closed and open, but they're also getting more similar, and the price of inference is dropping like a rock. But I think the real lesson, the more profound one, is that we are at war with China. We are in an AI arms race. And I got into a disagreement with Sam Altman about this at the Senate AI Summit over a year ago, where I was arguing that we are in an AI arms race, and there's an opposing view that we can all get along and we can cooperate on these things. And I'm sure the other side feels quite different, realizing that their IP has been stolen in this process here. But this war started long ago. It was an economic war with the ascension of China to the World Trade Organization, the greatest IP theft in history, the greatest wealth transfer in history. It is an opium war. The number one cause of deaths of 18 to 45-year-olds in this country is fentanyl. That is coming from China. It is a diplomatic war. The Belt and Road Initiative is basically indentured servitude for other countries to the CCP. They're playing on the... And the unprecedented phase zero gray zone operations of the CCP, how many times are we going to believe that anchors are dragged across the sea that cut undersea cables here? But I think one of the things, China knows they're at war. The question is, we kind of equivocate on it as a peace-loving nation. But one of the things I want to make sure we all do realize is that the engineering in R1 is exquisite. The optimizations that they've done are really impressive. And I don't think you can get away with the facile explanation that the Chinese just copy and we're the only innovators. We have to wake up with the respect for our adversary and realize that we are competing. But they absolutely did steal a lot of that through distillation of the models, and perhaps they stole even more. And then you can look at the GPU sales growth in Singapore. It's a tiny island nation. I'm pretty sure there's some sanction invasion going on there. And we have to realize that the AI race is winner take all, and it's going to be a whole of nation effort that extends well beyond the DoD in order for us as a nation to win. And that M-Day was yesterday. The time to mobilize has come.
Thank you, Shyam. Our next question is from Dan with Wedbush. Dan, please turn on your camera, and then you'll receive a prompt to unmute your line.
The knives.
Thank you. So, well, my question is,
by the way, Dan, we don't
talk about, are you surprised at all?
Can you repeat the question? We didn't hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, are you surprised at how quick
he's just in his house?
These sales cycles are actually taking place from when a customer first meets Palantir to now deploying AI initiatives. I mean, does that surprise the team at all?
He's just in his house.
I would say I'm not surprised because of the energy we feel on the ground in talking to customers and the impact. Shyam shared some examples, taking a back office process from the largest banks from 5 days to under 3 minutes, taking what used to automating a process for an automotive supplier from what used to take 100 hours to be automated with just a human check. And seeing the reactions of those customers when those are implemented and seeing the impact and seeing them wanting to move quickly, seeing them wanting to start quickly, expand quickly, and essentially stay ahead of their competitors, feeling that energy and feeling that reaction on the ground, I'm not surprised because you feel it. It's tangible.
What surprises me a lot is just, customers and especially countries are just reacting completely differently. So in broad swaths, American companies have approached this revolution in a very pragmatic way, which is, so we had all these, experts saying that what you ought to do is buy a large language model and install it on your enterprise. And customers are like, great, we'll try that. But we're also going to try Palantir. And there's really no ideology in aggregate in this country defining how people do things. It's about output. How quick is that output? And there's a lot of communication between enterprises in America, so especially in sectors. So people talk about what's working and what's not working. And if in distinction, if you look at Europe with 13% of our business and 4% growth rate last year. So compare that, it's like more than 10x better in America in US comm, right? And what's really happening there is people are reading literally basically PowerPoints of how you did tech installations in the 50s. And that's what they're doing. And what is jarring to me is that you just see radical adoption from some clients. Again, you do have some people in America who are still doing science projects, but it's how could it be that one set of companies in one geography adopts, and in a very culturally similar geography, people are just like, yeah, okay, great, but that's not how we do it. And so and this, by the way, is not just, we talk a lot about U.S. commercial because we can't really talk in detail about what's happening on the battlefield. But the battlefield, and Shyam could talk about this basically forever, that this is basically, we enjoy it, it's equally divergent. It's like you have cultures that are like, we have to fight in a way that suits our culture, that suits our ethics, where we have a primacy of winning and a primacy of maintaining our values. And those cultures are rebuilding how they fight, rebuilding the things that they think are valuable, looking at the evidence of what worked, what didn't, what was the cost structure. And meanwhile, there's just a lot of people who are just like, yeah, but that could get away in the way of vacation. And so it is really, really jarring. I think one of the things I am sympathetic with when investors look at Palantir is like, yeah, but it's very hard to know because people are going on different paths. But yeah, in America, in aggregate, the response is, I expected this to work in X amount of time. You got it to work and beat what I was expecting in 1/10, 1/20th, 1/50th of the time. And by the way, the other thing that is super surprising is, 2-3 years ago, when we were doing Foundry or even some of our kind of more sensitive things in the military, I believe we were delivering results that were, in 6 months would have taken 10 years, and they were things that people couldn't do. But now, because of the time and the power, you can't really hide it as easily in some department of your enterprise. So what would happen to us in the past is we would do a pilot, we'd do an enterprise thing, and because obviously people didn't appreciate my charm, and there were no steak dinners, and we weren't laughing at your jokes, and we were probably saying the wrong things at the wrong times, that thing got stuck in some part of the enterprise. Everyone knew it was the most important thing about the enterprise, but no one would acknowledge it. And now it's just too powerful. People are like, yeah, don't particularly like them. They don't offer dinners. They don't wear suits. Shyam's hard to understand for me. But the results are massive. And that's what's driving the results in the U.S. That's what's driving the 54 number that we did last year, and we're guiding to this year in U.S. commercial. That's what's driving the beat. That's what's driving our ability to really maintain our culture. By the way, it's also the rule of 81 really comes from this reaction to our company, but also because we can stick to our culture, our ontology of Palantir. We do not need 500 extra people a quarter. We can really power these things because the pull, when people actually see it, is enough to break down the institutional barriers, the political bullshit that often we were not able to break through in the past.
Thank you. Our next question is from Mariana with Bank of America. Mariana, please turn on your camera, and then you'll receive a prompt to unmute your line.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my first question is about disruption. Palantir has been actually thriving when there is disruption from the very beginnings of the company, 9/11, coronavirus, supply chains, LLMs. Now everyone is really concerned about DOGE with the change of administration. I could imagine a focus on efficiencies, a focus on software modernization, digitalization could
Yo,
actually
last week,
be
what
a
company
really
did I
good
cover?
opportunity for you. I don't know if you
Didn't I
can
cover Microsoft?
deep dive on how
don't even
is
remember.
Palantir positioned to that. And my second question, probably to Dave, but I don't know, Shyam as well. When you see this demand, where do you invest to make sure that you're prepared to actually execute on it? Is it talent? Is it sales? Is it engineers? Is it partnerships? What do you do to make sure that you can actually capture this opportunity?
Thank you.
Well, on the first question here, I mean, I think no one really knows, but we sense a huge amount of fear amongst the traditional system integrators and providers here, the traditional providers to the monopsony. But we're pretty optimistic, and I think if you look at my comments over the past, even my recent Senate Armed Service testimony last week, Palantir's real competition is a lack of accountability in government. These forever software projects that cost an insane amount, that don't actually deliver results, they're sacred cows of the deep state. You can think about D6A. It cost billions of dollars and it didn't work. Soldiers in
$6 billion. Yeah.
soldiers in war zones preferred Palantir because it worked, and it happened to only cost millions of dollars. And I think DOGE is going to bring meritocracy and transparency to government, and that's exactly what our commercial business is. The commercial market is meritocratic and transparent, and you see the results that we have in that sort of environment, and that's the basis of our optimism around this. I think the work that we've done in government, it's deeply operational, it's deeply valuable, and we're pretty excited about exceptional engineers getting in there under the hood and being able to see that for a change.
We love disruption, and whatever's good for America will be good for Americans and very good for Palantir. And I think you got it exactly right. Disruption, in the end of the day, exposes things that aren't working. There'll be ups and downs. There's a revolution. Some people can get their heads cut off. It's like we're expecting to see really unexpected things and to win. Basically, that's what we're going to do. See unexpected things, report expected things, and win. And we're planning to do that, and we're pretty optimistic about the U.S. environment.
And on the investing front, it is quality engineering, right? It's quality engineers, and you can see it sort of how we set up our comp programs, and obviously that does mean headcount's going to grow somewhat, but really it is the quality engineers, more than the quantity, and you'll continue to see us, do that this year. We did it last year, particularly in the back half, and you're seeing it sort of in the numbers in Q1 and beyond.
Yeah, you also, by the way, for the first time, people want to partner with us. It used to be partnership meetings were complete waste of time and BS, largely so people could fill out a report that they met with us kind of thing, like high school dating for nerds. I met with them. Perfect. I'm not going out with them. That was our experience with partnerships. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've had real partnership discussions because a lot of these people own verticals, have to deliver. They're under a lot of pressure, and people know how good our products are. And last not least, what we're really investing in my view, is we have a truly unique culture. I visit with companies every week. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've never seen a company or a culture anything like ours. And that's what we have to fight to keep. And every single Palantirian is special. Everyone here is doing something unique. We need to continue to attract and retain people who are different, think differently, are different, and get them focused on the world's most important missions, building products the way we know how to build them. And that's our primary investment strategy. And it's not actually a question of money, which, means that that's how we crush the margins. It's about talent and, just building really great things, the things you ought to build, not the things you're supposed to build, and getting them to the front line.
Thank you all. Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math. the burden of reading what the Rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, you know, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing.
On point.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That concludes Q&A for today's call.
Like, that Tony Stark remark is so true. It is so true. Man, he's just like, yeah. You know what the funny thing with Palantir was? The funny thing with Palantir was that at some point where the stock wasn't doing well, he was just like, yo, bro, you can just sell it. Like, go to the market. You don't like our stock? You don't like what we're doing? Just sell it. Like, it's a liquid market. You can just go and sell the stock. Like, we don't need you. We don't need to raise capital. We don't care. And he was just like, he just didn't care, you know? So this is interesting, right? The Palantir trade right now, it's an interesting one for sure. Because the company continues to grow extremely rapidly, and their total addressable market is massive if they manage to keep ahead of the trend. That is the beauty of their space. They are in LLMs, they are in AI, but the commoditization of LLMs has allowed them to use what I would say is like the next development in AI, which is like, okay, like how can we use the data? How can we incorporate within your business model in order to give you the best data and the best sort of action possible, right? It's not just having access to an LLM, but having access to Copilot and making this thing easier, but it's like, how can we integrate every aspect to help you actually run your company better or your institution better? Now, it seems to be working. I mean, like, it seems that they're growing their client base and they're also increasing the amount of business that they do with current clients. So it's showing promise, That being said, they're really, really expensive, and you have to assume that they're gonna continue to grow at the rate that they are, and the AI will be that they will be at the forefront of AI, Interestingly enough, this is the next phase of what AI is gonna be, right? I think last year was not the year of AI, but the year of chips, and understanding that the frameworks and infrastructure that has been built, and then we're going to transition into software slowly. So yes, that's where Palantir comes in, and they're extremely well poised because they already have like clients, they already have a record, they already have proof that their system works, and they're able to implement it not only on their company, but in many other companies as well. Well, that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like a 10% correction was this morning, right? We could see it come down. Palantir, like, this is the way that I usually trade it, and it was the way that I look at Palantir was that I would always like buy calls just before the earnings because I know that they were going to do really well, and then they tend to sort of continue to rally. They don't stop. We did see a massive decline just beforehand, right? Like this little drop right here, which in the bigger aspect of things is tiny, right? But that was the opportunity to kind of get in, like the thing is where you're gonna get these cycles within the stock where it's just gonna go overvalued because there's a lot of hype, a lot of momentum in the stock, and then it comes down, and then you're always able to pick it up. But again, that could be like 150, right? Like the stock likes to go crazy. The fundamentals right now don't really make sense just because, they're growing extremely fast and they're doing extremely well, but they have to continue this year on year. And the moment you see a slowdown, you have to freak out. right? This tells me that again, the chips are. I don't think we worry about the chips, because all of a sudden when companies start implementing this, they realize that there is a benefit of having these models and making this spend on this, right? Whether it's with a company like Palantir or with other companies, it'll be interesting to understand the model because I was trying to one of the things I was trying to find during the earnings call was the capital expenditures, and I wasn't able to find it. You know what I mean? Like I found it and it was actually very small. So interestingly, like last year was I think less than the years before. So they already have the infrastructure. It would be interesting to see whether they continue to, and just to understand their business model a little bit more. That's one of the problems that I have with Palantir. It's just I haven't followed it enough in order to understand. I would love to see their product and see a demo of how it works. I was going into the company as well, and it seems crazy the things that they do. But it's an interesting one for sure. It's an interesting one. It always paid me, you know, to go on calls. I didn't go on calls this time. I just didn't feel right, even though I would have wiped out my losses today. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Hit that like if you want to continue to see more content like this. I enjoy some of the earnings calls. This gives me a little bit of an idea how the EAS sector is doing, which is fantastic to just keep an eye out on. Because yes, I think AI doesn't stop here, and Palantir doesn't think so either, right? So I think the chip sector is gonna be just fine. It's gonna be a matter of time for us to see a recovery. Well, hopefully tomorrow. I mean, like, what do we have tomorrow? Here. So earnings tomorrow. We have PayPal in the morning, Spotify, maybe a little bit, but we have Google AMD tomorrow, so I'm definitely streaming those. I have a trade on Snap right now, which is actually making me like $5. Because Snap tends to like move drastically after earnings, but the AMD trade is gonna be interesting to see what they have to say with the new models. Yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day, and I think Google was beat up without really like. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Search. That's the thing that's been moving the stock a lot, so I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to that. But I want to pay attention to AMD for sure. And then at Snap, I just have to look at the results because it just moves really quickly. Like we have all of this week, we have major names. Like even after the close, we have Qualcomm, ARM, and MicroStrategy, which are chips, and then Bitcoin here. And then I want to pay attention to tomorrow earnings at some point too. That's for sure. I'm paying attention to tomorrow earnings. Then we're doing Amazon, So I'm probably gonna be streaming every single night, every single night this week. And then let's see anything like Uber. Uber is gonna be in the morning. The thing is like in the morning it's kind of tricky because they have results like randomly during the morning. It's not like a set time. It's not like a night where it's like within the same hour. Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be paying. I want to be paying attention tomorrow because I think that they're trying to do the MicroStrategy trade or strategy, and I think they've been doing it even before that too. So it's like, and we haven't seen all of the gains from from Mara being built up into the price. So I do think they're gonna do great. Actually, you know what? Let me have a look at something real quick. But today was I would say successful stream is 700 views. I'm freaking happy with this. You know what I mean? By the way, if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. 315 people. Let's go, dude. Famous, dude. Famous. What was I gonna do? Mara. Sorry. I want to have a look at Mara's PE in future. You see? Oh, that's super weird. What? So yeah, no, February 12th. February 12th. Okay, they're in the negatives. I don't think this is going to be negative though. There's no way that it's negative. Oh. I don't think that that's negative. Oh. It's good to know. The problem is, let's have a look. If it is, I might actually put a sizable position for earnings. Dun, dun. Yeah, it's still 24% shorted. This is a mistake. I just got a trade for tomorrow. How much are the calls? How much are the calls? I have to check down tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow, but I think I'm going in a more. I might go heavier on tomorrow. 24% short float. It's been coming down too, but not fast enough. And I think that they're going to blow that out of proportion. Because this last earnings didn't account for all of the gains that they were hoping to have. It's like last earning. It's gonna be a naughty trade. I think Mara might be a trade. Mara calls, put 2K on those calls, and then hope that he gets to like 25, 26. So look. Have a look at how much were they. Let's look at March. Let's do March. Mara. People are about to make some bank on Palantir stock. Right, March. Oh shit! Oh shit! Mara's a trade. Mara's a trade. Mara's a trade. Whoa, Mara's a trade. Like a trade, dude. Contracts are not bad. Like a 10% move on Mara. Itara, put options. Let me buy options. Interactive brokers. But you can do like Webull has them, depending on where you are, which part of the world you are in. You can like use different things. But I do interactive. eToro, give me a partnership. Get me out of cadet, bro. Get me out of cadet. Oh man. All right. So I'm close. I was checking out the numbers and like I'm almost out of cadet. Somebody put a lot of money on me. Which is crazy to me, but I'm here to make money. 718 views. Let's freaking go. I'm famous. That's what happens when you're famous. That's what happens. And that's okay. don't know. Have a look. The 27th. So we have 3 different dates. The 27th. So I'm gonna buy them for March. They're not that expensive for March. Let's check the investor relations website because like they make it like they expect Mara investor relation. It's like the SMCI. I have no idea when the SMCI earnings are, which is crazy. They put something out today. They put this out today. I might buy some calls tomorrow. Tomorrow. Ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da-da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have $4 billion worth of crypto. Sorry, Bitcoin. Special meeting of shareholders on the 11th. Who said 11? Who said 11? Where did we find the 11? So they're gonna have a special meeting of shareholders, which is, I'm guessing, an earnings calls, right? Financial results. Earnings hub. So it's February 26th. This one. Yeah. Estimated February 12th. This one. Hmm. $500,000 worth of sales. Is that trade? I think this is a trade. I'm gonna do a. All right, let's assume that they mined 750. Okay, let's just take that at face value and let's do three. Like it's a quarter, so it's 3 months. BTC USD. Have a look at what revenue can be. 750 times 3, so 21, 22, 23. 23,000. Revenue is expected to be 184 million. But they just told us. Like, am I tripping here? What am I not getting? Is this not real? I'm so confused. Because we're doing. They're gonna beat expectations. It's telling you here. I'm doing that. I'm talking about Mara tomorrow at some point. Like nobody's paying attention to Mara right now. It hasn't gotten any love whatsoever. All right, I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep with this idea. That's a great idea. That's awesome. I'm going to write on my board. Look at Mara trade. Wait, I didn't. Because people are paying attention to MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy is going crazy, right? But the reality is, no, no. Yeah, it should be that one. Weird. Right? But the reality is, if I ever become big, I'm gonna get in trouble because I don't know if I'm allowed to share this data, but fuck it. Window, Fundamental Explorer. We go here, and then we go. No, it's not that. No, 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 no. And then we're gonna go bam. Trading Central. Tell me, take me to the thing. That ain't it. Wait, I might have messed that up. All right, so let me just calculator. So let's say they do. They're gonna do until the end of January, so that's gonna be until the first, and they did 865 plus 750 plus another 750. That's 2,300. This is nuts. I think I might put 2K on options on this, and despite 10 contracts, that's 1,000 shares. Move this stock on 1,000 shares, potentially like what? Based on this, it's growth of how much? What's the growth? Quarter by quarter. Estimate. Ba, 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 ba. Really, you don't have marathon? Like they wouldn't be, but then all of a sudden if they get mentioned, because MicroStrategy is the one like taking sort of the light, and it's like the only way to invest in Bitcoin if you're like outside of it, but you can buy Mara. You can buy Mara. Could you? Hello there. Hello there. For 2K, so let's see. So if I was to be right on this trade, let's go tomorrow. Right, and then we go. Let's go to the 4 hour. Come on, computer. Come on. Come on, computer. Let's have a look. Let me have a look. So, if I was to do, so let's assume, okay, okay. So, to break even on the contract, the price of the stock would have to go 5% up, right? But if they beat by what I think they would be, like let's say potentially 25, I would make 700 per contract, 7,000 bucks. If I'm right. No, well, no, because it's two, it'll be 20 contract. No, it'll be 10 contracts. 7,000 bucks. Conservative. If it goes back to all-time highs, or if it goes down to like 30, for example, then it would be like 10 bucks a contract. That would be 10K. That'd be a nice trade. For 2K trade, upside is pretty high. Like if as long as Bitcoin doesn't, but I just what's market cap? Where's market cap chart? Are they hot in valuation? I wonder. Chart. No. We're looking for donators. We're looking for donators. We are sitting pretty high in valuation though. Okay. Makes sense. It's not the highest it's ever been. But the price of Bitcoin is pretty much the highest it's ever been. That was November. What was the price of Mara in November? Of course. What was Mara sitting at in November? Share this. Market cap. No, no. Market cap. Da-da-da. Oh, I look awful. I need to go to bed. Look. Da-da-da. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun. Da-da-dun, da-da, da-dun, dun, dun, dun. How was the price of the stock? When are they gonna, you know? Weekly. Come on, load. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, baby. Do the locomotion. Come on, baby. Just give me the data at least. Come on. All right, fine, dude. Oh my god. Mara, give me the chart here. Like it's within my consolidation zone still. Stop loss hasn't touched here. Like if we could go like here, November was sitting at no, because they did a freaking wait. So when was this Palantir? Come on, Mara. Mara's market cap on the 30th of November. The 30th of November, the stock was priced at 29. The price touched 30. Huh. Why did the stock go to 30? What happened March 30th? U.S. election results. Oh. That sucks. Could have bought that today. All right. The fucker. Finally. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Fuck yeah. Another trade. Let's do this. It's gotta be, right? But then it hasn't kept up with it, you know? Because like what was the peak of Bitcoin? Bitcoin, right? Like if we go to Bitcoin and we try to find the peak, yeah, give me the year, 5 year, right? Like the peak of Bitcoin was USD. US, yeah, whatever. I'll take that. And the peak of Bitcoin was sitting like what, 105, 105, right? So it's like we're okay, like let's say 110. I think that peak was 110. It wasn't it. Like 110. Let's say 110, right? Like we're sitting what 10% down, but Mara's sitting almost 50% down. Ah. SMCI. I didn't want to buy the calls on SMCI because I wasn't sure. I ended up being fucking early. I'm always early with that fucking stuff. Fuck. All right. Yeah. It's been weird. And they're like pretty like they were pretty adamant on like we are Bitcoin evangelists, right? So it's like they were Bitcoin before MicroStrategy was cool. And the computer's so slow. I don't know why. So this gross that. Let's buy 100 shares for now. What was there? How much did they increase their holdings by? Um, yeah, could be, maybe, unlikely. Yeah, that could be it. That could be. Hola, bonita. ¿Cómo estás tú?
We're doing.
Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math, the burden of reading what the rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, you know, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that.
In some cases, kill him. This number went up. Dumb money, dumb money, dumb money. Ba-da-ba. This is a topic. I'm tomorrow. I'm telling you what I bought, man. I'm figuring this out today. I lost my I've lost my fucking sleep, bro. Like the problem is I keep looking at Trump stuff without actually looking at the market research I need to be doing and analyzing. Like Palantir, I should have been in that trade. I'm always in that trade, man. Ah, but it just takes it out of me, you know. Like this is I, like who how can we miss this? You know what I mean? Like they put this out today. There's no news about it. Like again, don't follow me into this. You know what I mean? But like, Dave. Jordan. Now let's hope. Let's wait and see. I have to check. Ba-ba-bam. Ba-ba-bam. All right. I stayed longer than I was supposed to stay. I'm gonna go to bed. I think that's it. Yo, Dragos, thanks so much for watching. Peace, peace, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and all of the funny other things that you would do when you do you know what to do. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I bought some Mara. I bought some Mara. Yeah, I bought some Mara, dude. I think it's a trade. I think it's a trade. I mean, there's nothing that tells me there's not a trade. Yeah, dude. Yup. I like the stock. I like the stock. All right, all right. All right, all right. No, no, no. I couldn't buy the contracts. It's closed. Market closed. I just bought 100 shares for now. And then tomorrow I'll buy the rest of the position. Another 2K. Maybe 1K. And then wait to see what happens with Trump and China tomorrow. But they have made it to they have tried to pay big, you know. But that's the thing. You gotta be okay with trading the stock too, you know. So it's okay to take profits as it's rallying too. Because that's one thing that I would definitely do. Like, let's say I buy 10 contracts, right? I'm okay with selling a couple of the contracts in order to cash in my profits and then take the profit risk free. I'm taking so much, like, I'm hurting. Don't get me wrong. So it's not like I'm making bunk or whatever, but yeah, they keep diluting. That's why you got to look at market cap, right? That's why I was looking at the market cap to have an idea of what the pricing is, you know? Because if you look at the price of the stock, you can't really tell, right? So I'm thinking they could potentially go a little bit higher here. Because interestingly enough, if you look at the PE, like if you look at Mara's PE, it was actually quite impressive. Like their PE 16 right now. I'll keep researching it. I'll try to figure it out tomorrow, but I have a feeling that it could pay, you know? SMCI has the earnings too on the 11th. So I need to change. Oh, actually, I need to change that before I leave. View channel. We have to go to manage videos and I have to change the date of the SMCI earnings. Somebody asked me the other day too when they were. This is gonna be tomorrow. No, this is gonna be edits. Details, and it's gonna be on the 11th. Yeah, I was so surprised at the fact that they weren't posting, you know. All right. Peace, everybody. 815 views. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, 316. Let's go. Profit. Profit. Oh man, I need to get my stream. I used to have it all set up, and I could see who liked and subscribed and all that stuff. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Damn. Oh wow. I'm so tired. I need to go to bed. Yeah. Peace, dude. Peace. Peace. Holy man. All right, I'm out. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. Awesome. Thank you. Peace. Bye.